just when I think I'm done with this guy. This is Titan's Return Fortress Maximus, and I've done quite a few upgrade videos on him. And I got one more upgrade video for you. I was moving this guy around recently from one location to another, and one of his, I've always called them horns, but some people call them antenna or crests, head crests, ear crests. One of them on this guy had always been loose, and it always popped off really easily, and it popped off in the car, and I have no idea where it is. So that's a bummer, or it's an opportunity disguised as a bummer, and a lot of opportunities are disguised in such a way. So here's the original crest that he came with, and despite all of the upgrades that I've added to this guy, I've added the really awesome hand upgrades. I've done videos on all of these, so you can just search the channel and find them. There's that sword upgrade, which came as a set with the gun. I think it was called Heisenberg or something like that. The much needed feet upgrades. There was also some upgrades to Cerebros, making his black parts gray. I've swapped him back to black because I just kind of like the American look they gave, the American Sunbow animated look they gave the North American Cerebros. But I did not dig the original gray antenna they gave him. I always thought it kind of looked boring, and I really liked the blue that they gave the Japanese Takara version of their Titan's Return Fortress Maximus. Not that I don't like the gray on Fort Max, and especially the gray on Cerebros, because when it comes to Cerebros, gray matters. Anyways, when I lost this one horn, I took a look around the internet for replacements, and on Shapeways, which, if you don't know, Shapeways is a site that does custom 3D printing, and there's a lot of Transformers, both G1 as well as modern Transformers items on there. And there's a seller on there that I ordered from, and came after a while, and I thought the quality was really fantastic. So the one that I decided to go with, it's called on Shapeways TFTR Fort Max Head Crest Replacement. Comes in a number of different colors, and also, I guess, some styles, qualities: multi-jet fusion plastic, fine detail plastic, versatile plastic. The one that I decided to go with, I wanted blue, so I went with the option that was in blue, which is blue processed versatile plastic. And as with 3D printing, you always got to expect some 3D printing lines, but this one doesn't really have any lines that I can see. I'm going to take the head off and give you a closer look at the very fine detail, because there's only so much you can see in pictures on the website. So I was not expecting this level of detail, which is why I wanted to do this video, because it's actually really surprising how that's not smooth, but there aren't any 3D lines. There is a texture there. It's really nice though. Nice solid piece. It's very rigid, and the coloration on it is absolutely fantastic. So I like the blue that they used on the Takara Fort Max, but it's kind of dull compared to this. This one is just a little bit brighter than the blue on the rest of him. There's a little side by side. The third-party add-on was able to match the blues much better, the hands and the forearms, whereas the antenna are a little bit brighter, but I don't mind that. In fact, it's maybe another happy accident that they're as bright as they are, because this piece does not glow in the dark, but it kind of looks like it should. It's got kind of that glow-in-the-dark feel to it, and that kind of glow-in-the-dark look to it when glow-in-the-dark parts are in the light. And I think it looks so much better than that. Dull gray. And it's not just a straight recast or copy of the original. You can see the lines and the detailing are a little bit different, and the big change is I really like this angle on the top here, making it look more like an antenna or a horn. And the original one has just this flat top to it. The original Fort Max G1 had some baby blue stickers. I would have preferred more of this color on that original Fort Max, but I think this was the one of the final touches. I'm always looking to upgrade this guy because I just don't like that he's reworked from that big Metroplex, which I really am not a big fan of that Titan Metroplex that they did. Is it Thrilling 30? So I'm always looking for little upgrades to try to make this guy look more like Fort Max and less like Metroplex. So from a distance here, I've shown you a lot of close-ups, but here's what the blue head crests look like. Really, really nice from a distance. All sorts of different colors, so if you would prefer a different color, go with those different colors. I don't know the guy who's making them. I've never talked to him. I paid for this one, and as with any custom third-party thing, as well as buying from a big company, your discretion is advised. And just to show you that Cerebros can transform perfectly normally with the head crests. They function just like the originals. In all honesty, since they haven't fallen off yet, I'd say better, since that other one kept falling off to the point of getting lost. And I think in addition to giving Fort Max that extra bit of color on his head that he needed, I think even though they're stored on the back here, it gives Cerebros that extra bit of color he needed in robot mode as well. Cerebros is primarily black and gray color scheme. I did like the blue that they added because the legs and arms on the original Spike G1 were blue, so Cerebros was all gray except for a bit of blue on his head and gray. And I think the blue crests just kind of give it more in terms of, you know, speaking artistically, more unity to him. It helps flow. If you know anything about painting, my art instructor always advised unity. You can't put a little bit of yellow here and have that be the only place. He would say you got to have some here and maybe some here, and it creates a flow. It creates unity. So I'm always looking for that in these little fine works of art, and that I think was the missing unity for Cerebros in robot mode. So if you're in the same boat as I was and you misplaced, lost one of your ear horns, check out Shapeways, not just for modern parts but also for G1 vintage parts. eBay isn't your only place to get replacement parts. There's a lot of stuff on Shapeways. Definitely, if you are feeling conscientious about it, message the seller. This is a practice that I've always done, especially on eBay. If I'm a little suspicious about something, you always definitely got to check out the feedback and send a message, ask a question, and as the English folks say, suss people out. And if you get a polite, respectful response and all of your questions are answered, then take the risk and do the business. But if you don't get a response, then there's your response. I think that's a saying I've been seeing a lot lately. No response is a response. So that's something that I always take to heart on eBay when I ask someone a question. Recently just saw something on eBay, an old carded figure that I thought would be cool to have, but I wanted to make sure it was going to be shipped in a box because it said we ship by DHL, and I know DHL ships most stuff to me in a padded envelope. So I asked them, are you going to ship this in a box or in a padded envelope? Got no response, so they got no sale. It's as simple as that. And if they give you attitude, then don't do the deal. They're a little more pricey than I would have liked, but I mean, if you're missing a part of a giant Transformer's head, they've kind of got you in a compromising situation where you either pay what they're asking, or you get a guy who is missing a horn. Battle damage, maybe? I don't know. Make one out of plasticine. Might be cheaper, but hope this helps. All right, guys, take care.